Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Benji over here. It's a bit rainy outside here in San Antonio, Texas. I don't know if I can tell. Anyway, I'm in the front for Banjo, and I just wanted to say Happy 4th of July to everybody, even if you don't happen to celebrate the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July anyway. Anyway, I'm not sure. Usually, well, a lot of times in San Antonio, within the city limits, fireworks are banned because of drought conditions. But it's been like a really rainy summer. So I think it rained April, May, June. Now July, it's steady rain forecasted. So as far as these are my mom's decorations, of course. Um, so as far as fireworks, I'm not sure if they're banned in San Antonio city limits because we have not had drought conditions. Anyway, there's my room. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure. I think it might clear up this evening here in San Antonio, Texas. And so I know there's people out there that really enjoy fireworks. And so I think maybe if you're in the San Antonio area this evening, I think it might supposed to be clear up with the rain. And I have not heard anything about banning fireworks because of drought conditions. Obviously, I'll be here, right? I think there was been talk about the White House UFC fight. Um, is it gonna be on pay-per-view? You're gonna drive in a Tesla, so you gotta buy a Tesla first, and then you can have the UFC White House fight. Anyway, I saw on the Samsung News there was Trump touts UFC White House fight. Like he hasn't been doing that since, what is it, summer of 2021? Not enough. I saw there were drone attacks from Russia on Ukraine. And yesterday I saw that Iran plans to continue its nuclear program. So yeah, I guess that's that. July 4th, and Christine Oehm and Caroline Levitt are celebrating next to my husband. Well, I live here, not as a celebrity and public figure, but y'all already know that. Anyway, happy 4th of July. Here I am, such a threat. And yeah. Oh, I heard that marijuana legalization. As far as I've heard that uh, there was talks about descheduling marijuana from a Schedule 1 classification to a Schedule 3 classification, but I think that's been, what do you call it? It's been in limbo since 2022, not to be official, which I think was Clown Gabbard's when she was running for a Democrat presidential candidate. I think that was her argument. I guess in 2018, 2019. Yeah, I guess you could say like the fall of 2018 to spring, summer 2019, right? But yeah, that was her argument to deschedule it to a class Schedule 3 substance, not narcotic, I guess. Because narcotics are one, I don't know. So people can study it and get the funding to study it. And I guess that's as far as government research goes. But yeah, I heard of that on the radio, 98.5 The Beat. I think the announcer had gotten it wrong. I think she stated that it was already descheduled to a Class 3, but I looked online and it was, there were talks about it in 2022, but that has yet to be finalized, is what I saw online. So. I remember going to the Jay-Z concert. I think it was in 2013. And people enjoyed themselves with the marijuana there. But yeah, I'm not really too sure as far as the government funding the scientific study of marijuana. I guess that would be again for medicinal use. I'm not really sure what you'd have to study. I mean, for recreational, other than if there needs to be like some sort of label that it causes cancer or something. But yeah, 4th of July, it's 7:13. We're outside in the rain. No plans, but to be in there. But there might be a UFC fight at the White House. Thanks to Dana White and Joe Rogan. Maybe just thanks to Dana White, because I think Joe Rogan has kind of fallen out of favor. I'm wondering if that was happened before or after he moved to Austin, Texas. But yeah, in this neighborhood, I'm not a celebrity and public figure. We already went over that. Anyway. Yeah, I wish I could at least at minimum partake in the marijuana. But I do not have the funds. And oddly enough, in 2022, my mom has banned marijuana in her house. She said, 1, because it's illegal, and 2, because of the schizophrenia. Which of recent there has been a schizophrenia discussion. And it ended with me saying, you know what, whatever. If you really think I should take meds for schizophrenia, then I'll take them. That's how it ended, that discussion. So She said, no, you gotta go to a doctor, and then they prescribe you meds. I said, okay, well, you get me those meds to take, then I'll take them. While Domeet Ball and Kristi Noem are touting the accomplishment of Alligator Alcatraz that was built in, 2 weeks? And as far as expenses go, she says, I saw on her Twitter, she says, oh, it's from FEMA, which I guess is under the branch of Homeland Security. She said FEMA's paying for it instead of money going to Roosevelt hotels for people who are here illegally. It's going to the Alligator Alcatraz. But it's basically just like, if you don't know, it's just like an out-of-use airport or something like that. And so they're just renovating, refurbishing it into a some sort of detention center, Alligator Alcatraz. I know at the roundtable discussion, which the White House posted on YouTube, they talked about, Ron Nuremberg was talking about beds, and usually you talk about beds, you usually hear about that like in either hospitals or jails. So and Noem's really pushing the you can still go home on your own. She doesn't post that on her Twitter very much, but at the roundtable discussion, she did push that. You can go home on your own and paid flights. So whatever that could mean and could lead to, I would say that's a little bit more of a bleeding heart than maybe what we've heard from the Obama administration, right? At least having the news media diet for myself as a progressive liberal then. They were getting mad at Obama because of how not of a bleeding heart he was to illegal immigration, especially concerning families. And again, I think Clown Gabbard, she went to a facility, but she didn't go in. She didn't go in the facility. She didn't visit San Antonio, Texas, Military City, USA. I see a lot of people calling San Antonio that, who are local newscasters. But yeah, I'm ready to live my life. Just gonna, in the meantime, just gonna paint and read and draw until then. Hang out with Banjo. I don't plan on going to the zoo or renewing my membership, even though I see the gorillas in the Congo Falls are getting ready. One of the reasons is because of the way I was treated / how uncomfortable I was visiting the zoo. It just escalated worse and worse and worse. So this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't have to do this. Especially if I'm like not even like an employee there. I see people like, I could do such a better job cleaning this area. But anyway, so I gotta clean the house and not get paid for it. But I'm not gonna work at the San Antonio Zoo because I'm not a celebrity and public figure. And otherwise, they might still even play that schizophrenia card, even if I did happen to be an employee at the San Antonio Zoo. But anyways, I am, in addition to this escalating of I'm just really uncomfortable, I feel like they're being extremely territorial. In addition to the fact that I got kicked out of the San Antonio Aquarium, I got asked to leave the San Antonio Museum of Art by my sister. I was visiting the San Antonio Museum of Art, and Kimmy called me, and I answered. She doesn't call, she usually texts or something like that. And I think it was during the business week, like on Monday through Friday. She said, "Is there a problem with you and the guards? Maybe you should leave." And I said, "Well, how do you know that?" And so apparently the museum called my sister, Kimmy, who she used to be an employee of. She never got a raise or a promotion, so she got a different job. So obviously I take that into consideration whenever I go to the zoo. But also, in addition to that, I'm kind of boycotting it. I don't like this event center. I don't like this overnight lodge. I said any money that should happen to the zoo, donated to the zoo, should go towards the animals. It should not go towards people staying at the zoo. I don't know how they get away with that when it's a 501, when it's a nonprofit. So you're gonna have to put your event center somewhere else. So I'm really boycotting this overnight lodge in the savannah, which wasn't expanded. They cut down a habitat. They shut down the habitat where it was the elephants, and then it was camels, and then they moved that area there. So when they say they expanded the Naylor savanna, the giraffe habitat, what they're saying also is they got rid of the elephants and the camel habitat. But now with the Congo Falls, the Ralston Event Center, a lot of expansion. There used to be this quiet area where it was just plants and this little treetop area. And oddly enough, I had been there and was like hanging out there, and it was just myself. And then a security of this employee, a female, also went up there, and I was like, "Ew, I don't want to be up here alone with you." And that just so happens to be the area where, so this Ralston, they completely demolished that area. This little bridge by the rhinos, which I guess is not included in the Naylor Savannah. They cut down that bridge, and it's just complete construction for the rhinos and all the animals there. They demolished the gazelles and the fabulous anteater. Demolished it. It was just such a beautiful habitat for the anteater there. Gone. So there can be the Ralston Event Center. So I'm extremely against and boycotting that. And when I'm not here anymore, I plan to pursue what's going on there. $10 million for an event center. Well, you should have built that event center somewhere else. You should have built that event center in this neighborhood. Because I'm not a celebrity and public figure, and I have absolutely no money or say to contribute. Which also brings me to the UTSA. I don't know if this is true, but there's one UTSA downtown campus that newly built. There was the original downtown campus, and they built this huge one. I hate it. Why are you going to build a UT Data and Research Center next to City Hall and the San Fernando and the courthouse? And then after I think they're done building that, and now they're building an additional one right next to it, downtown. And apparently, We were playing Scrabble. My mom, Kimmy, and Tracy and I were playing Scrabble, and it turns out that Rackspace donated it. For some reason, Rackspace wanted a UTSA downtown data and research campus. So that's really confusing to me. Somebody from Rackspace donated the money, and they're going to fund the teachers and all of that, or they're just paying for the building. Sustained over time, or just the initial down payment was from Rackspace, and then it's up to the UTSA to fund that. And then I started asking them about the medical center, what they knew about it, because there's been a lot of expansion in the medical center. My mom's up. It's 7:26 a.m. There's been a lot of expansion in the medical center, specifically with UTSA and UT health system. So there's just been a lot of expansion in this after the 45th administration and during the 46th administration as presidents. So, but yeah, there might be a UFC fight at the White House. I think the 4th of July, according to a post on Truth Social, there's going to be a 4th of July party where the legislative branch is invited to attend. But yeah, I'm just gonna be here as a non-celebrity and public figure, thinking about the finances at the CU and all these other places, and how it doesn't make sense that after all this, that I'm the one that's schizophrenic. That is just a constant frustrating fact. Which I guess Noeem and Meatball have zero problems with. So, yeah. And to which I say, oh, is this about making money? Oh, this is about my health. Okay. Now you're worried about my health. Okay. I can only imagine the excuses that they give. But anyway, it looks like it slowed down raining, so I might as well just take Benji for a walk instead of letting him out in the front. Yeah. Just want to say happy 4th of July to y'all. Another day, another dollar. This experience would be so much better if there wasn't this schizophrenia issue of the marijuana going on. And yeah. And I just say that just because that's how I live my life. I'm not saying that as like any sort of advice for anybody, but that's just a way I've chosen to live my life. And as a personal decision, this just would be a lot better with marijuana. So yeah. But until then, happy 4th of July. I think this rain's gonna clear up this evening, so if you're a fireworks participant enthusiast, if that's how you choose to live your life, I think you might be able to enjoy that this evening. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a citywide ban of fireworks because it's been raining this spring summer. So yeah. As far as the Ralston at the zoo, I guess they're considered zoo employees. I don't know. It might be a contract thing that might not fall under the umbrella of a 501c. It might just be the location, because it says the Ralston Event Center says like you can get married there and stuff like that. So as far as all that goes, obviously that would be a separate kind of contract work and not a zoo employee as far as salary and finances go. Because that's the part of the thing of like a 501c and nonprofits and stuff is you do good work and you don't necessarily get paid the big bucks for it. So that's why it's called that's why there's a 501c option. You don't have to pay taxes because this is a good work. You're putting in good to the society and not necessarily getting a lot of money in return. Therefore, you don't have to pay taxes. That's what the 501c3 means. But yeah, UFC fight at the White House. And again, don't you think this is such a weird setup? Before and after January 2021? So just go on about your day like I'm not getting filmed. That never happened. Don't start talking to me like it happened, because then I might get kicked out of the establishment. Like at the San Antonio Aquarium. Which I can see from their Instagram. They constantly getting new animals and expanding. I drove by there the other day and it looked the same from the front. So I guess the expansion happened like on the other side in the back of the aquarium. So I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. 1 second. That's my second cup of coffee, by the way, in case you're wondering. So yeah. And then I guess I'll go ahead and try to walk with Banjo. A weird outlet choice. Location placement. Again. Oh, it's still raining a little bit actually. My mandarin tree that I had at Margie's. I don't know how long you've been following me. But this is the same tree that I had when I stayed at Margie's. Oh, it's raining. It's got little snails all around the little pot. It's cool. I guess I won't be taking Benja for a walk. It's drizzling. But anyway, I can't wait to live my life. I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I wonder how Nikki Haley's doing. They're both doctors, by the way. I don't know. Haley's a dentist. I guess maybe she just got her master's. I don't know. But until then, I'll be in this room painting, reading, while Caroline Levitt and uh, members of Congress, the representatives and senators, are invited to attend the 4th of July show. So obviously, I feel some type of way about that. But here's the thing, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. The way I've happened to live my life here in San Antonio, Texas, kind of reflects, has given me experience on my resume for this treatment of members of the Congress get to enjoy the 4th of July fireworks at the White House. And there might be a UFC fight at the White House. They may even bring in a Cybertruck for fun. So I'm surprised Dana White doesn't drive a Cybertruck. That is the one thing I'm surprised about. But yeah, this lifestyle here, I don't know if in San Antonio, it's always been my opinion that, San Antonio is not Austin, not Dallas, not Houston, not New York, and not Miami, not Los Angeles. So why do people go to San Antonio? Because we're such a chill, laid-back city. And so, as far as being left out, if that's what you can call it, that's something that I'm used to. I've been dealing with for, ever since I didn't get accepted to UT Austin after high school. I had to stay in the college in the city. But so as far as this not being included, as far as the glitz and glamour of a UFC fight at the White House, I'm wondering if it's pay-per-view. Might have to get C-SPAN on it, okay? Maybe Roku. Maybe RSBN network. In addition to pay-per-view, I don't know. I just think it's obviously that looks a certain way. You can be somebody that's supports me and my husband and our endeavors, and be like stuck in the middle with this UFC thing, and that could go other places, just UFC. But obviously it's a bit uncomfortable, right? Said, why aren't the people who are participating in this not uncomfortable? I say Kristi Noem and Demi Mall a lot, and Caroline Levitt a lot, because I don't think she earned her job. As far as peak American greatness, I do not think either of any of those people represent that. And I don't think Hillary Clinton did either. And she was, Secretary of State? Something like that? But yeah, this left out, it's something that the glitz and glamour and me being kind of out of that circle is something that I've known my entire adult life. But this is quite different. It's something in it more than just not getting invited is what's going on, what has been going on. But Nikki in 2021, which subsequently led a contributing factor to my mom calling a home health check and then me staying at the hospital for almost 2 weeks in the psych ward, was very concerned about how I treat the neighbors in this neighborhood, this very one. So obviously I don't want to give them anything. Why should I want to give anything to people who continue to oppress me? Doesn't make any sense. So, and what money do you want? You want the pornography money or you want the YouTube money? Huh, Nikki Haley? And guess what, Nikki Haley? Noem and Domeet Ball are not going to be a problem for you. Isn't that great? I think they're both Democrats, by the way. In case you're wondering about this self-deportation, flights deportation. In 2021, here, I'm stuck here. Okay? There's over 100 people from Haiti in West Texas. How did they get there? You have a phone plan. Kristi Noem, not on Twitter, but when she's in front of the camera, she does a lot of, often I've seen her promote this self-deportation app, which obviously you're going to have access to a phone or a computer for that. So I'm just really wondering what's going on. But Nikki Haley, Democrat, probably not going to have any problems coming from Noem and Domeet Ball. There might be a UFC fight. I think Russia's has drone attacks on Kiev of Ukraine. And I think I saw a headline that said Iran is maybe planning to keep moving forward with this nuclear deal. Nuclear bomb plans. And so yeah, happy 4th of July for me and Banjo. I can't wait to get all the invites. From people. Obviously not from this mailbox, right? I see the mailman every day from my window. So I can't wait to get all the invites. Obviously not going to happen with this mailbox. But until then, be stuck here with a non-bachelor's or master's degree. So y'all have a good one. I don't know how they're going to argue that 47's the bad guy. I can't wait to see those arguments. Huh, Nikki Haley? Anyway, y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later.